Welcome to the last best of 5 of this evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're on Overgrowth, spawning to the bottom right hand corner in purple, playing for Psystorm. It's Poizon. And to the top right in orange, playing for Rival. It's Koshkii. And it's another PvP, ladies and gentlemen. So, let's see what these two friends will throw at each other. Poizon and Koshkii know each other's playstyles in and out. These two ladies have been friends for quite some time and have played a lot of matches, not only in the FSL, but also in other female cups and even other normal cups. So yeah, could be a game full of mind games, could be not, because sometimes you think that I think that you think that I will think, and then it just doesn't work out. So it seems as if both just passed each other without realizing that they did. So just usual scouting's double gateway opening by Koshkii. Only single gateway opening, more gas heavy for Poizon. And then the second gateway right behind it. So no, actually we also have to, well, a later gas there for Koshkii. So let's see. Might be that Poizon wants to get into some sort of tacky harassment build, while Koshkii will probably just go for the straight up either Adept or Stalker build. Probably Stalkers. That's usually what she goes into, but we'll see. Okay, in the meantime we have Poizon just hiding a probe. Sneaky at the natural base, but yeah, it's probably just for scouting later on. So yeah, she waits for the cybernetics core to arrive, and now we'll see it's going to be two Stalkers. Just like I predicted. Yeah, knowing players quite well is something helpful when casting, and especially when playing them. So, yeah, okay, so we have the Adepts incoming, but unfortunately Poizon supply blocked herself for a little bit, so for a few minutes, for a few seconds, sorry, not minutes, my god, for a few seconds here. Yeah, but unfortunately Koshkii already going into the Blight counter build. I mean, having out Stalkers just counters Adept harassment, so there will actually not much, there will not be much that Poizon will be able to do. Maybe she just even, I mean, now she sees that, did she? No, she didn't. Okay, could have actually maybe just even cancelled these Adepts after seeing that Stalkers were firing at that pylon here. So, under normal circumstances, of course. I mean, there's always the possibility to deal damage with a right micro and maybe some wrong microing of your opponent. But under normal circumstances, Stalkers are quick enough to chase Adepts, and they are quick enough to even follow the shades. So, ooh, of course, yeah, that's of course this thing I was talking about. I mean, under some special circumstances, thank you, Koshkii, for proving me completely wrong. Under some special circumstances, of course, you might be able to deal some damage. Especially if you, of course, move out with your Stalkers in the worst point of time. But yeah, Koshkii just being as safe as ever. Having a Mothership core around here, just having the pylon overcharged as well. So yeah, it seems as if it was only one worker killed, so nothing auto special here. And yeah, I mean, it was still worth the try. Poizon decided to open with the Adepts, so she needed to do something with them. But yeah, it was quite difficult to do since Koshkii just blind countered her build by doing her own Stalker opening. And like I said, Stalker openings just counter the Adept openings in most cases. So, now we have the base almost up for Koshkii, we almost have base up for Poizon, so the early aggression has been dealt so far, with Koshkii being in the lead, because she still has 5 units out on the map, while Poizon just has nothing, except for the Mothership core over here. Oh, no, actually, never mind, she has some units tucked back here. So, okay, never mind, she just wants to defend against possible oracles or air attacks, which are not going to happen. But yeah, you never know, so always good to have the units tucked back here. We'll now just move the units towards the natural base while bringing her Mothership core into the back. So if Koshkii decided to go in once more with an Oracle or maybe a Void Ray, and most likely an Oracle, if something like that was to happen, then she would have some units available to deal with it. So, Hallucinated Phoenix just checking the situation. In the meantime, we have the good old robotics facility producing good old immortals for good old Koshkii. So, Mothership Core also in position. She also... So actually, there we can see that either Koshkii just made a habit out of that by watching Poizon, or the other way around. Poizon was just watching a lot of Koshkii's games and realized, well, that's a smart move. Maybe I should just get something into the mineral lines of my natural base and main base in order to just be safe from early harassment as long as I don't plan to attack myself. So, Koshkii taking a quick third. Poizon still being behind on that department, but she's better in supply. Same amount of workers almost, but a little bit more army supply for Poizon here. So, upgrades also getting produced or getting researched for Koshkii, and we have the charge upgrade for Poizon, quite nice. That might actually work out quite well later on, because Koshkii just producing a lot of immortals, but also now gets into charge. So later on it will probably most likely be interesting who has more immortals and more charge lots. Because the charge lots just chew through everything. If you are the one who has a superior amount of charge lots, and like a significant superior amount of charge lots, then you can just win the engagement in a fight quite easily, because the charge lots just charge towards your opponent's units, and if you don't have enough charge lots yourself, your charge lots will just die immediately. And then the rest of the charge lots will just keep all the other army units busy while your heavy hitters fire from behind. And then your army just melts in an instant. And sometimes you wouldn't even believe how easy it melts. So, Poizon moving across the map, wants to check for the third and eventually kill it if it's there. Oh, she actually knows that it's there, so never mind. So yeah, she just wants to go in and kill it, and then maybe recall out with a Mothership Core. So also sending some adepts at the same time. Seems as if she just wants to go for some multi-prong harassment that might actually work out quite nicely. Even moving the adepts maybe in a little bit earlier. Yeah, there she does. So okay, now going in. Maybe it would have been a better idea to just shade in and then just maybe go in with the army. And here we have the first engagement. Unfortunately, the Stalker's just standing right in front. No charge lots yet. And the Immortals just tearing through all of the Stalkers quite easily. Seems as if Koshkii was also focus firing the Stalkers down, while Poizon was not focus firing down the units of Koshkii there. So yeah, that fight was won quite convincingly. And now finally we have the charge done for Poizon. Still, Poizon retreats in the nick of time. Has managed to get her third base up as well. It's a little bit less saturated than that of Koshkii. So Koshkii just little by little getting one advantage here with the first engagements, getting a little advantage here with the second engagement. We'll probably just use these High Templar to get Archons, I think. These are not there for Storm, I feel. Yeah, there she goes. So another Archon over here. And in the meantime, it seems as if Poizon just wants to transition into some Void Rays. And here we go. So, Zealots taking position on the Watchtowers. Nice little map vision thinking here. So always good to get some more map vision with cheap units. But no harassment going on. And no DTs going on as well. So, fourth base going down for Koshkii. Koshkii just sitting and waiting. I mean, she has all the advantages and probably knows about it. So that's actually not checking the third base. Is probably expecting her opponent to already have one. But yeah, seems as if she just wants to get a decent army composition out before she finally wants to attack. The question is what that decent army composition finally is, and when she will finally end gathering more units and cross the map and attack. When she deems it ready, or when she deems the time ready. She's already on 2-1, on 2-0, 2-1-0, and is already getting the third upgrade as well. And seems as if now the time has hit. Can't really tell what it was. Maybe it was waiting for the War Prism, maybe it was waiting for the 6th Immortal. I can't really tell. But Koshkii now feels confident enough to move out. Ooh, and this actually could be a pretty interesting fight. But like I said, I mean, this is 5 Immortals. but Koshkii just has way more zealots. And now you will see what's going to happen. Actually, good move here to have the pylons in place, but yeah, now the zealots move in. And like I said, all of these army units freaking out, just shooting the wrong units. All of the immortals not hitting the heavy hitters behind it, but instead hitting all of the zealots. Zealots are even still alive, and the army has already melted. And that's it. Poizon just doesn't have any more forces. This base is going to die easily. The Void Ray itself will not be easy. It will not be able to deal with anything over here. Base dies over here. Koshkii could just either walk into the main base now right straight away, or just go over to the third base and kill it off. Poizon might just wait for more Void Rays to come in, but there's even some anti-air in the mix. I mean, we have Stalkers, we have Archons, and even if she didn't, I mean, again, like here you see it. As soon as the charge lots just get close to the Immortals are almost useless in the fight, and Koshkii takes the first map. Whirlwind is our second map, and the players are Poizon to the left and Koshkii to the right. For just a moment there, I was thinking about doing the Korean cast now and just hyping up everything, no matter how insignificant it is, because you sometimes just hear these people shouting and you wonder what they are shouting about. And sometimes I really think it's like something shouting around, and then you realize, oh, the guy built his first depot. Wow, that was a great action. So, Gateway and Gas coming in for Poizon here. Gateway and Gas coming in for Koshkii as well. So both mirroring each other's build, not knowing yet that they do. So Poizon will probably, unfortunately scout her opponent last. Well, maybe not, because Koshkii is already sending out a probe of her own. Will soon scout her opponent, and then Poizon should realize that this probe must have come from either this position, which he just scouts, or the other one. So she will probably just send the probe to the cross position once she realizes that the probe is out. Unless, of course, Koshkii just is careful enough to... No, okay, she isn't. So yeah, seeing this probe should just tell Poizon that her opponent must be in the other corner. There's no way that her opponent can arrive that early on. Oh, and Koshkii with a gas steal. Yeah, we've actually seen this before. And I don't know in actually which game. I mean, I think it even was against Poizon. And then in the later games, Poizon always managed to park a probe close to the gas geyser, to the assimilator, even being on hold position, so that Koshkii didn't have the chance of getting that gas over here. So nicely done. This actually might mean that Koshkii really plans to do some sort of early push, where she wants to use units, where Poizon would need units to fight against it that require gas. So delaying this gas for quite some time can be quite annoying. Poizon actually manages to sneak in her probe, and like we said, she used the direct scouting path here. Could actually even set up some sort of proxy pylon back here, and then maybe warping in units right directly into her opponent's base, but will probably not be able to do that forever. I mean, this probe is still undetected. Okay, over here we still have the assimilator getting attacked. Koshkii just coming back in. Maybe wants to just get the assimilator again. If Poizon is not careful, Koshkii might actually be able to do so. But there's the Stalker, will now drive the pesky probe away. That was a little bit too daring here. Okay, and now finally, eventually, the assimilator will get taken down. So Poizon's probe still working around here. Still does not get scouted, so Poizon could still make use of it, just sneaking around here and maybe putting down a proxy pylon somewhere over here. But she might have just forgotten about it, and now it's too late. The Stalker has finally found it and killed it off. So, that's unfortunate, indeed. So, Zealot has finally managed to get the gas geyser free of Koshkii's, and has now planted down her own in order to take the gas. So, in the meantime, we just have some usual teching up robotics facility incoming for Koshkii. Seems as if Koshkii just wanted to throw her opponent behind a little bit, maybe getting into the same army composition once more, I feel. I mean, she's mostly producing... There's the Twilight Council, probably again 4 speed lots, so I think we're going to see some sort of the same army composition for Koshkii. Let's see how Poizon is going to answer this. Both of them just having these stalkers in their respective mineral lines, plus the Mothership Core over here. Because Poizon, of course, didn't have the chance to further scout her opponent at all. Well, she had the chance, but she didn't use the probe at all, which was very unfortunate. So yeah, she didn't really get the scouting information she could have gotten. But now she, of course, just has to, I don't know, fish in the dark. That's just a German saying, but I don't know if you can say it in English as well. Im Trüben fischen. But that's just something she has to do now. If you can say that in English or not, it doesn't matter. You should still understand the metaphor. Even if it's not the same one in English. It still works. So, let's see what's going on here. We have a forge incoming, probably for upgrades, maybe for some cannons, but mostly for upgrades. Speed incoming, or charge. Speed lots. Speed for the zealots incoming. For Koshkii, and some more immortals. Maybe not a Twilight Council, the Twilight Council we already have. Maybe a Templar Archive behind that. And then it's going to be the same composition once more. Some Archons, some Immortals, actually some more Immortals, and a lot of speed lots as well. And then just running across the map, killing off your opponent in a direct engagement, because charge lots just rule. Okay, Warp Prism this time around, quite interesting, but probably, well, maybe she wants to use it for some early light harassment, or maybe she's just already using it. Ooh, this time around it's going to be Dark Templar. Not the Templar Archive, but Dark Templar indeed. So seems as if Koshkii also wants to apply some pressure with Dark Templars in the main base, but there's a cannon. So Poizon just having the right idea. It's also, of course, a good thing. I mean, if you don't really know what your opponent is doing, and it could be air tech, it could be DT tech, it could be anything, then yeah, a cannon just makes you quite safe against a lot of these things. So a cannon is actually a good investment if you're just tapping in the dark. So, okay. Third Nexus just gets immediately scouted and cancelled. Okay, so even all of the pylons get cancelled as well. Koshkii now just warping in a lot of units here, already preparing for the big old push. And it might actually work out quite well. She might even actually just fly the Warp Prism into the main base and maybe deal some damage with the DTs over there. But yeah, for now she just walks in. I mean, there is one pylon there. Pylon's not really that capable of dealing that much damage. Nice force field units over here, just keeping the zealots from closing in towards the immortals here. Still, the damage dealers just dealing damage, and a new warping round of zealots will just seal the deal and kill off the rest of the army. Unfortunately, no more photon overcharge available, and also no pylon to cast it on. So yeah, I think the remaining units just kill off all the workers over here, will then just continue killing off that Nexus. The next warping round would eventually just do the trick. And well, actually, that's quite nice. Is there... Okay, that's one Dark Templar, but of whom? Whose Templar is that? That's Koshkii's Templar. Okay, so now, where did that get from? Where did that come from? Where the hell did that Dark Templar come from? Maybe it was just warped in and she sent it somewhere above here. I don't know where it comes from. But yeah, there was even more Dark Templars being moved in, so it doesn't matter. Okay, 2-0 for Koshkii. Newkirk Precinct is the third map of this best of 5. Haven't seen this map yet throughout the whole evening. So spawning to the bottom right in purple, playing Protoss for Psystorm, it's Poizon. And to the bottom left in orange, playing Protoss for Rival, it's Koshkii. Who's actually already warping in a little zealot of her own, if you haven't heard it yet. So you might want to congratulate her. Okay, gateway into gas. Her opponent is doing the same thing. So both mirroring each other's builds so far. Yeah, just common, typical Protoss opening. Nothing special about it. Only good stuff happening here by both players. And then sending out the scouts. Might actually even meet right in the middle of it, which would be quite awesome. Just right in the middle of the map. Have a look at that symmetry. Bam! Just even running into each other. So nicely done there. Okay, double gateway right behind it, plus a second gas. Double gateway right behind it, plus a second gas. So seems as if it's going to be the same openings, but probably Poizon going into going into Adepts, while Koshkii just wants to go into her Stalkers once more, I feel. But we'll see. Maybe Poizon also changing it up a little bit, waiting for the Cybernetics core to finish before producing the first few units. Her scout has just told her that her opponent is doing the exact same thing as she does. Does this exact same thing she does. Yep. So, Cybernetics core just in the making here. No production here, no production there. So this time around, both players waiting for the Stalkers. No early harassment attempt, which would have probably been pretty futile anyways. But Poizon trying to do some proxy shenanigan here, shenaniganery. Koshkii still scouting, might actually sniff it out and will just barely. Wow, how unfortunate for Poizon here. There it is. Sees the pylon just barely, and there's the reaction. So there it is, and it seems as if Poizon has already realized that she has been scouted and sniffed out, so she just retreats with the probe, and we will never know what she wanted to do there. Well, actually, we can ask her because she's in chat. So if you want to know what Poizon actually wanted to do there, what the building was supposed to be, if it was supposed to be a Stargate, which I think is pretty probable, or if it was supposed to be some sort of hidden Dark Templar tech, I don't think so, then you can just ask her. Yeah, what speaks for Stargate is just the positioning of the pylon. I mean, if you want to hide a Dark Templar tech, you normally just put the pylon and the tech just somewhere further back. Because for the harassment, it isn't really that important how far away the pylon and the tech is. It's only important that your opponent does not scout it and get surprised by it. But with a Stargate, you usually just also want to have it close by, so that an Oracle, for example, that gets produced is just pretty close to the mineral line, and you just lose as little time as possible before the Oracle finally reaches the mineral line and kills off stuff. So that's why I'd say it was supposed to be a Stargate around here, but it wasn't. So, interesting thing about here is that actually now Poizon has just started her Nexus, but Koshkii hasn't. So seems as if she just wants to go for some very heavy harassment early on with a lot of Stalkers, especially after having sniffed out that her opponent was trying to save up money for some sort of hidden harassment tech. Poizon's army is a little bit out of position. She has 2 Stalkers, an Adept, and a Sentry. But 5 Stalkers are a little bit superior to that. There's also no pylon in place that can be photon overcharged effectively in order to deal with these Stalkers. Wow, and this could actually be a terrible engagement there for Poizon here. Okay, just uses the Guardian Shield, which is a good decision here, because Guardian Shield just buffers so many of these shots for quite some time. And now she just realized, woo, I need to build up some defenses here, get some pylons up to photon overcharge them. But Koshkii, sorry for that, already realizes that she won't get a second chance of harassing her opponent. So she just goes into a base herself. A little bit later than her opponent, but not that much later. It gets finished and will then also get saturated. But she's a little bit behind right now, I'd say, because the only thing that speaks for her is her superior Stalker count, but she won't really be able to do anything with it now that the pylons are up and photon overcharge is available. There's just no chance to deal damage to your opponent with just so few units. In the meantime, we already have the first Immortal out. Koshkii also going for a Twilight Council once more. It's probably going to be charged once again. So let's see if Poizon, I think. So let's just wait a little bit. Might even be Dark Shrine right away, and maybe she just wants to harass her opponent with like DT drops. But I really think it's going to be charged first. Don't let us wait too long, Koshkii, we want to know it. And there it is, charge. So yeah, it's going to be the same composition once more. Immortal, charge lots, maybe some Archons later on. Poizon in the meantime. Ooh, sneaky and ballsy, taking a 3rd base over here. It could pay out if Koshkii takes her sweet time before attacking. I mean, she will wait for charge, so 80 more seconds. That's the time when the Nexus will be done and halfway saturated. So, this income might actually work out, but maybe it's just barely too late. It's always, like I said, the tipping point, and always the most frustrating thing to happen. If you just try to get your economy up, and you would like need only like half a minute more, or maybe a full minute, and then you could just easily outproduce your opponent. But that's just the timing window that your opponent uses and comes in. And it doesn't even feel like she or she did it deliberately, but sometimes it just feels like some random attack that just hits, and unfortunately you just got caught with your pants down. And that just feels so frustrating in StarCraft. Everyone who plays StarCraft will probably know what I'm talking about. So, waiting for charge. Poizon also getting a robotics facility down, has not yet started to even produce immortals. And again, this army composition is pretty bad against charge lots. Unless, of course, you have some sort of wall off. But yeah, the biggest problem right now is that you're not only on 2 bases anymore, but you're on 3. And you can't really wall off everything. So eventually you will just have to face the charge lots. I think the most important thing would be to actually realize that she's going up against charge lots, but she doesn't know anything about it. It's just flying around with the hallucinated Phoenix. Might have actually seen the army composition a little bit, which is actually pretty misleading. I mean, Koshkii is doing a really good job of keeping information from your opponent. I mean, if you just have a look at this composition, you might even just think, well, okay, there are no zealots, so probably no charge lots. But of course, zealots are easily produced and even mass produced if you have a lot of gateways that are now just coming up. So that's what actually Koshkii actually even did in the last game. I think she didn't even have a single zealot out until the mass warp in right before she attacked. So these are now the first 2 zealots being warped in, and yeah, that's actually great. I mean, like I said, even if you poke the front, you are the opponent. You poke the front. I mean, you see the immortals, and I think, yeah, she likes to do immortal charge lot, but I don't see any zealots now. So probably it's either going to be blink, maybe. So maybe she just wants to go blink immortal or something. Yeah, but you would probably not guess charge lot. So nicely done there by Koshkii, keeping this information, or just letting your opponent in the dark. So quite interestingly done. So this time around it's not going to be the Dark Shrine, but it's going to be Templar Archive for Archons. Yeah, and Koshkii just waiting for the 3-base push. She also has to wait for the gateways to finish and open, but I think it won't take much longer until she finally moves out. Feels as if she really wants to move out pretty soon here. Yeah, now the Warp Prism is there. That should just trigger the move out, I feel. Maybe just waiting for one more warp in round and getting that done, but then she would probably just move out and try to kill her opponent. And let's have a look. Ugh, this doesn't look good at all for Poizon. Ugh, no. Oh, I'm really sorry, Poizon fans, but if this army clashes with this one, I don't even know if Koshkii will drop in supply. I mean, upgrades are there for Poizon. We have 1-1 with the upgrades even on the shields. So every unit, air or ground, would actually make good use of it. If she had some Archons in there, they would also especially profit from that upgrade. And she does have. So yeah, okay, the Archons actually profit from that upgrade quite a lot, because they're mostly shields. Oh, Koshkii even taking a 4th base. Wow, that's pretty unusual. I mean, we haven't even seen her taking a 4th in all of the games so far, I think. So let's see. I mean, okay, never mind. So with the Archons in there, I thought that was all, but part of the army was standing at the 3rd base. So never mind. This actually looks a lot better already, especially with the Archons in the mix, because Archons help melting speed lots quite a bit, if they stand in front, of course. So here's the big push, but still, I mean, Koshkii still has way more immortals, and she does a lot of damage with the 2-0 upgrade, which is still a little bit far for Poizon to get, and Koshkii almost having the 3rd upgrade as well. So let's see, more units moving in, both armies just before clashing here. Poizon actually retreats a little bit because there are a few more units arriving, and here comes the big engagement. The Chargers again just moving forwards, keeping a lot of these army units busy, but this time around the Archons just clearing off most of the Zealots here. Okay, next warping rounds of Zealots over here. The big Archons are firing at the Archons here. Archons actually getting a good concave, but now are busy dealing damage to the Zealots. And again, the army units from behind just dishing the damage while dishing out the damage while the speed lots just keep everything busy. It's like crazy. I mean, only one immortal actually died during that whole engagement. Everything else is still there and the rest is easily replaceable. So Poizon dropping down to 67 supply. And yeah, I'm unfortunate to say it, Poizon fans, but this is it. No way for Poizon to come back into that game. Koshkii has more bases. Well, actually not yet, but in just a few seconds. And she just doesn't have the means in order to stop her opponent, just frantically throwing down a few more photon cannons, hoping that her opponent might just give her enough time to set up some static defenses that might help her out dealing with these units. Yeah, just warping in whatever army unit she can get, trying to get the Archons up in time, has some speedlots up, fighting till the last unit, which is very honorable to do. But GG's out eventually, and Koshkii takes the series 3-0.